Finally, there may be some growers who maybe don't have any or a lot of corn planted yet, and maybe thinking, here we are May 7th, and I need to start, changing my maturities for when I do get into the field. Typically, though, we need to continue to remember that our highest yield potential exists with our highest maturities that are adapted for any given environment. So, in this example here in the red line, we've got our fuller season maturities for the northern corn belt here, giving us our highest yield potential throughout our early planting window, and then throughout basically most of the month of May. The green line here is our earlier maturity hybrids, showing that our yield potential just isn't there as we go from a higher maturity to a lower maturity hybrid. And it does take a while here late in the month of May before these lines converge, where the profitability of a later maturity hybrid is the same as an earlier maturity hybrid. So the biggest thing here, we don't want to pull the trigger too early and reduce the chance of our highest profitability by switching from a normal maturity hybrid to an earlier maturity hybrid, really until we get towards the end of May. One of the biggest reasons we're able to stick with our full season hybrids is that corn does adjust to later planting. It needs fewer GDUs to get to maturity with later planting than it does at earlier planting. So across this 3-year study done down at Purdue and Ohio State, it took on average 244 fewer GDUs for hybrids to reach maturity at a normal planting date compared to a later planting date. So even those fuller season or normal season hybrids, they adapt and react to the environment and get to flowering and get to maturity a little bit sooner than they normally would at those later planting dates, which is another reason why we're able to stick with those hybrids until we get towards the end of May.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Pioneer for more agronomy insights.